Hello. So, I've slept, I've rested, I'm home now. uh, I'm not fully processed that it's happened yet, but I think we're getting there. I've been trying to, write a text post about Promstuck for the last, 3 days. It's not really coming out well. So I thought instead I would just kind of sit and talk into a microphone instead. And maybe that would be a little bit more authentic and easier to do. This is not scripted, obviously, so I'm just going to be saying shit until I feel like turning the microphone off. But, if you know anything about me and the way that I tend to do projects, it's really annoying and stupid in the sense that, my hubris is that I have to make it bigger than the last project I did. And logically, I know I don't have to do that, because sometimes that's just too much, but I do it anyway. And it's sometimes, not even sometimes, it's every time incredibly stressful and a lot more work than maybe I need to be putting into that thing. But it has worked every time so far, and it has not crashed and burned, right? None of my projects have exploded. And that's the problem. That's the hubris, right? Is that I keep doing it. Because it keeps working. Last year during SawCon, I had 2 panels. One was a short film, and one I made 1 billion puppets for. And I did capture bags at the same time. That was insane. That was insane of me to do. But it worked, and there were only some minor issues. And so then I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. Let's do Promstuck, right? Let's do a Promstuck. That makes sense. And as stressful as Promstuck was to plan out and put all my energy towards in the past year, it worked out and it was good. It wasn't even just good; it was perfect and incredible. And this is my problem, guys and gals and gamers. This is my issue: is that I keep doing it and it keeps happening and it keeps going well because I have some kind of risk of luck or something. But I guess I shouldn't really be complaining about it because it makes for some pretty cool shit. So, yeah, I don't know. I want to talk about Promstuck for a little bit. It was a lot of work. I mean, obviously, if you went, you could probably tell, especially if you pulled me aside and saw the absolute void behind my eyes as I was running around doing 14 things. Thank you if you did pull me aside, by the way. I did appreciate every single person who pulled me aside to talk to me, even though I couldn't sit and hang out for as long as I wanted. That was very kind, and I loved seeing everybody. But yeah, it was a fuck ton of work. I don't know, even if you were there, or if you saw the live stream, or if you were just supporting from the sidelines. It was a fuck ton of work from all of us, and it was incredibly stressful. And it was a lot, and we didn't sleep, and we put in a lot of our own funds, and a lot of labor went into it, but it worked, and it worked better than I think any of us thought it was going to work, and that's crazy. I don't know, it's just setup was a lot. Because it was just well, if we've missed anything now, it's over, right? But it was fine. All the little bit of delays happened, but it was fine. Every worry that I had about, this thing going wrong or that thing going wrong just did not come to pass, and it was completely fine. And yeah, and then it was over before I fucking blinked. And then that was it, and then we did it, and it was over, and we pulled it off. I don't know. I'm trying to emphasize. It's hard for me to emphasize how much work we put into this, because 99% of it was behind the scenes of just being stressed out in a voice call meeting for 5 hours and doing this and doing that. But it was a lot. We've essentially everybody on staff has treated Promstuck like it was our full-time job for the past year, basically. And to be clear, we're not getting paid for this. We might, if we have money left over, be able to get recompensated for things that we put in out of pocket, but we're not really being paid for this otherwise. It was completely voluntary just because we wanted to do it. And we've treated it like it was our paid full-time job for the past year. And I don't know. I think it showed. I hope it showed. Everyone who I've talked to, who I've seen, seem to have had a great time, or at least had positive thoughts about it. And we're all really happy about that. And yeah, I don't know. Just, it was a lot to pull off, and it was a lot of things had to go right in order for us to do that. And it seems like the universe was kind to us and made sure that everything went right. Because it was fucking awesome. I want to also acknowledge that, and this is not just with Promstuck, this is a broad thing when it comes to me and my projects. I am aware that I am of sorts a Homestuck micro celebrity now. I am well aware of this. I have mixed feelings about it. That does not mean, like, please do not comment on my works. Please do. I do appreciate every single person who came up to me and talked to me just because they were a fan of my shit. That was very awesome. It just, I don't know, I'm a socially awkward, like, anxious, like, autistic guy, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a little bit weird. But I do want to say that I feel like sometimes it gets to a point where I'm like, my name is on a thing, which means that's my project, right? Sometimes that's true. Most of the time, that's not. And again, I'm not saying, like, please do not ever acknowledge the shit that I make, because I put a fuck ton of work into the shit that I make. And I love seeing comments about it. And people acknowledging that it did something for them. However, most of my projects, and that includes this one, would not have been made without, like, heavy contributions from other people. Promstuck was a team effort. And the team will probably not say this. The team will probably say it was a lot of Ender. And then I'm pushing back and saying, no, it was an equal team effort. Because I think, in my genuine opinion, I'm not trying to be, like, stupid humble. I am genuinely, this is my real opinion, I think it was an equal team effort. I don't think I would have been able to do any of it without, like, any one of them. It was a lot to do, and everyone contributed in a specific way. And because of everyone's contributions, it went well. And I do not want people to kind of see it as, like, he pulled this off by himself, because I didn't. We did not. We could not have done it without each other. So please go to the website, look at all the names at the bottom of the website, and, like, gas everybody up, please, because holy shit, you know, we worked our asses off on this thing. And again, that does include all my other projects. My girlfriend Chrissy, whose username is WindyC3, who you've seen probably in a funny little fishing video and another funny little baking video, was on staff, as tends to be. I rope her in all my projects all the time. And people did approach her about dirk fishing at the event, which was great and exactly what I wanted, as much as she also doesn't want my Homestuck micro celebrity status, because I want the other people involved in my projects to be appreciated for what they do. You know, Cookie Fish is not it's my AU, I guess, but it wouldn't be as cool and interesting as it is if it wasn't for everybody else who works on it with me, you know, like my girlfriend, and like Etch Jetty, who has been informing me on how to write the upcoming arc that I'm hopefully releasing soon-ish, or anybody else who advises me on how to write certain characters, and, you know, when I need advice. Without their contributions, it wouldn't be as good as it is. The puppet show, obviously there was like 5-6 people involved in that, right? I made the puppet, sure, I did the editing, sure, but all of my friends just decided to help me puppeteer them. And that was great, and it wouldn't be as cool as it is without all of their contributions. So, yeah, I don't know. again, I'm not saying don't leave comments. Because, in fact, please leave more comments on people's work on the internet. Don't just like their shit, because then they're not going to know if their work is worth anything. But as far as the projects of Ender Slime on the internet, none of them would exist without other people. And that I like to do it that way. I want to keep doing it that way. I could, yeah, this team that we had for this thing is the best fucking team that I think we could have had to do it. This event went the best it could have gone, and that's crazy, and that's because all of them worked their fucking asses off to do it. So yeah, just I don't know. Projects like this are best when they're collaborative between people. Any project is, I think. You know, if it's your fan adventure, right? Like, I make my fan adventures with my friends, right? It's not mine, it's ours, right? Promstuck is ours. Cookiefish is ours. I think that's important to acknowledge, is that nothing good in this fandom, or really any fandom, but specifically this one, because Homestuck is so unique to be about making shit, but nothing cool in the Homestuck fandom was made by one person. Homestuck wasn't made by one person, you know? And this is it's sort of like, this is Andrew Hussey's webcomic. Kind of. So many people contributed to it. So many people contribute to the cool shit that comes out of this fandom. And I think it's important that, you know, we gas those people up too, and not just me. Because it makes me feel a little bit weird, but also because I think that's important. Because it's a webcomic based on making shit together, and every cool thing that comes out of the fandom is as a result of making things together. And that includes the people that went to Promstuck, you know? Like, one of my big worries, if I can be hashtag for real, one of my big worries was that the performers we had gotten and the activities that we had made and you know, all the shit that we had put together was just really to our tastes, and that we were maybe misjudging the wider fandom's taste, and that maybe they wouldn't fuck with half of it. You know, maybe Broadway Stuck or Stacy wouldn't have as much of an audience as they deserve to have in front of them, you know? Or maybe people wouldn't give a fuck about the activities and just kind of sit in the corner. I don't know. You know, it's hard for me to gauge these things when this fandom is so internet-based and very rarely has in-person stuff going on. But none of that happened. Like, it was all fine. And it was not only fine, it was incredible. It was amazing. The energy at Promstuck was so, like, kind and inclusive and wonderful. And I don't think that was the staff, you know? Because we could not have directed the energy in any specific direction. That was the energy of the people that showed up and decided to make it that way, you know? There was nobody, like, shit-talking anybody else in a corner, right? There was nobody, like, trying to start shit. There was nobody, like, making a mess. It was just, like, everyone showed up with the intention of having a good time, and they did, and we did. And that was a collaborative effort, too, you know? It wouldn't have been as good as it was without the people who went deciding that they wanted to make it good. Which I said very briefly on stage at the end, but that's what I meant by that, you know, when I said that it was all of you and barely any of us. It was because that everyone who went brought that energy intentionally, and it would have been dog shit if they didn't. So thank you for bringing that energy. Even if you didn't go, even if you were just, like, supporting, that you also brought that energy. I hope you know. If you were just saying you were excited for this, or you hope more stuff like this happens, or you were watching the live stream, you also were bringing that energy. And that's very important, because that made the event fucking cool. Yeah, I don't know. We're reaching 15 minutes, so I should probably put it down. But yeah, I don't know. Just, this was a cool thing that I got to do. And I know a lot of people ask me all the time, like, are you ever going to slow down? And I should. You know, like, for my health and shit. But I don't know. I kind of don't want to. I kind of like just doing big, ambitious, stupid fucking projects all the time. Because seeing the reaction is you know, it's the best. It's actually the best. So, yeah. As far as the next one goes, give us like a bit, you know, give us a little bit. We have to catch up on sleep and shit, and you know, like we're tired. We're very tired, but we understand there is demand for another one because every single person who went brought that up. So, trust me, we are thinking about it. We have it on the back burner after our like 3-month nap that we're all about to take. I, as myself, will say that I hope that there will be more, that I want to do more, because this was great. As on behalf of the Promstuck team, I don't know yet. We'll see. You know? We will see. But we do want to. We'll just have to see. So, thank you. Just, yeah, thank you. Thank you everybody so much for watching, or whatever. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for being in this fandom and making cool shit. Or thinking about making cool shit. If this thing inspired you to make cool shit, please go make cool shit. That's why I make the stuff that I do. Am I about to sneeze? Yes. That's why I make the shit that I make. Is because I want other people to also make shit that they make. You know? And nothing I do is unique to me. Or special in any particular way other than the fact that I committed to it and I put it out there. Which you can also do. So please do it. If you have a project that you want to do, if you have a comic or a piece of merch or whatever the fuck, other stupid shit that I do, right, that has no connection to each other. If any of that has ever inspired you to do a thing, please do the thing. Please. Because this fandom would not exist in the state that it is right now without people just committing and making cool shit. So, yeah. Just thank you, you know? I'm gonna go play video games for the next 3 months.
I've been in the Homestuck fandom for 13 years, and you are the best thing that has ever happened to me in this fandom in that whole 13 years. Will you be the Kanaya to my Rose for the rest of my life?